The sound you're hearing isn't a soundtrack, it's Saturn. Real radio emissions have been converted into audio so human ears can hear them, and that's what makes Saturn terrifying. From far away, it looks like a calm jewel, beautiful, symmetrical, wrapped in a perfect ring of light, but that's an illusion created by distance. Up close, Saturn is an extreme environment. Winds can reach around 1,800 kilometers per hour, pressure climbs high enough to crush any structure, and most importantly, Saturn has no solid surface. You can't stand there. You can only fall deeper into the atmosphere. Saturn wasn't born to harm anything, it simply runs on laws, gravity, pressure, energy, and if you step into that zone, you lose because of physics. And the scariest part might not even be the rings of ice and rock orbiting it. Stay to the end, because I'm going to break Saturn down in 3 layers. First, the most beautiful thing about Saturn is also the most dangerous. A ring system of ice and rock nearly 300,000 kilometers wide, yet in some places only about 10 meters thick. It looks like jewelry. In reality, it's a high-speed stream of debris. Second, Saturn isn't terrifying only because of windstorms and pressure. It's terrifying because it creates a rule. The closer you get, the faster everything gets worse, far faster than you expect. In just a few layers of atmosphere, survivable turns into impossible. Third, the twist at the end. How a planet this extreme, through its gravity, can sometimes deflect or capture wandering objects, reducing risk for the inner solar system where Earth lives. You might think it's so far away, how could it affect me? Saturn is one of the clearest examples of how humans misjudge risk from a distance. From far away, it looks safe. Up close, it's dangerously hostile. The most dangerous things aren't always loud. Sometimes they arrive as something beautiful and quiet, just a faint hum, until the moment you realize it operates by its own rules, and you've stepped into a zone with no way back. Let's start with what made Saturn famous: the rings. From Earth, they look like a single smooth halo, perfect and continuous. But when you get close, the truth is immediate. There is no solid ring. The rings are a debris disk, billions of pieces of ice and rock, from dust-sized grains to chunks as large as mountains, orbiting Saturn at extreme speed. And because they all move through a narrow region, collisions are inevitable. They crash constantly, shattering, grinding down, clumping together, breaking apart again. The rings aren't still. They're being worn down and rearranged every second. Now, the most important detail: the rings are nearly 300,000 kilometers wide, yet in some places only about 10 meters thick. Planet-scale width, with the thickness of a thin layer. From far away, it looks like jewelry. Up close, it's a high-speed belt of ice and rock orbiting a giant. So the real question is, where did this debris disk come from? Because to create a ring system like this, something usually has to pass too close to Saturn, into a region where tidal forces are strong enough to rip it apart. One of the most widely discussed hypotheses is this: Saturn's rings are the remains of a moon that once orbited the planet. At some point in the past, that moon drifted too close to Saturn and crossed the Roche limit. The Roche limit is the boundary where a planet's tidal forces become stronger than the moon's self-gravity, the force holding it together as one solid object. In simple terms, Saturn pulls so hard that one piece can no longer stay one piece. From there, the sequence is brutally mechanical. The moon stretches, cracks, breaks into chunks. Over time, those chunks collide, grind down, and spread out into trillions of ice and rock particles, forming a disk around the planet. So what looks like jewelry from a distance may actually be the fossil remains of a destruction event. You're seeing beauty, but its origin may be violent. Now leave the rings and move into Saturn itself. That honey gold color looks warm, but Saturn is a gas giant, which means there is no solid ground beneath it. No land, no ocean, no continents. If you descend, you do only one thing: fall. And on Saturn, falling has no stopping point. At first, you pass through upper layers of hydrogen and helium. It almost looks gentle, until you meet the wind. On Earth, 250 kilometers per hour winds are a catastrophe. On Saturn, winds can reach around 1,800 kilometers per hour. And unlike Earth, many storm systems here don't fade quickly. They can last for years, sometimes even decades. So you're not facing a storm, you're facing a long-running machine. Then you look toward the North Pole, and you see something that makes people stop. A near-perfect hexagon-shaped storm structure. It's been observed for more than 40 years, possibly longer. What's unsettling isn't just the shape, it's the fact that it holds stable inside a chaotic atmosphere, as if a jet stream is locking it into place. Geometry surviving inside turbulence, that's why it's haunting. But this is still only the top layer, because the deeper you go, Saturn stops being weather. It becomes matter-changing states, and what follows is a true domino chain. You go deeper, pressure rises 10 times, 50, 100 times Earth's pressure. Your body wouldn't have time to feel pain, it would be crushed. Pressure rises, temperature rises, thousands of degrees, hot enough to melt metals, and now matter starts behaving differently. The things we think we understand stop making sense. Hydrogen, the element you think of as a gas, can turn into liquid metallic hydrogen. In simple terms, a vast conductive ocean, moving and generating an enormous magnetic field, like a planet-sized dynamo. And near the core, temperatures may approach the surface temperature of the sun. Saturn is not a gentle planet. It's a place where going just a little deeper jumps reality into an entirely different tier. And Saturn may do something even stranger. Under the right conditions, Saturn can form diamonds from methane. Lightning breaks methane apart, carbon separates, fall deeper, compression intensifies, pressure rises, matter changes structure, carbon becomes crystal, diamond, beauty falling like rain, only to sink into the depths and vanish where nothing can ever reach it. That's the universe's kind of beauty. It shines, but it isn't made for life. But the most frightening thing about Saturn isn't the storms or the pressure. Saturn has no intention. It doesn't target you. It doesn't hate you. It only sets the conditions. And indifference can be more terrifying than violence, because it destroys the comforting illusion that the universe is supposed to be kind to humans. It isn't. The universe simply operates. You survive not because the universe is gentle, but because Earth is a rare island of stability. And the moment you drift even a little outside that island, the rules change. That's when you understand. Everything beautiful out there comes with a cost. And here's the paradox. That same terrifying gravity can also act like a filter at the outer edge of the solar system. Saturn and Jupiter sit far out, massive enough to deflect or capture wandering comets and asteroids. They don't always save Earth. But in a system full of debris, reducing even a few major impacts can rewrite the history of life. The same force that can shred a moon into rings can sometimes become a gravitational shield for the inner worlds. But Saturn doesn't end there, because Saturn isn't just a planet, it's a system, with moons that hide subsurface oceans and worlds that spray water into space. And those clues force science to ask a dangerous new question about where life might exist. So here's the final question. If around Saturn, a place that looks impossible to live, there are environments that resemble hidden life factories beneath ice, how many other things out there look peaceful only because we're still standing too far away? If you found this video useful, hit like, subscribe, and comment moons so I can make the next part immediately.